Hi everyone. In this video we will solve some questions based on Taylor's and Maclaurin's theorem. Question is, we have to show that sin inverse x is equal to x plus x cube into 1 square upon 3 factorial plus 1 square into 3 square upon 5 factorial into x raised to power 5 plus 1 square into 3 square into 5 square upon 7 factorial into x raised to power 7 plus so on up to infinity, and then we will find the approximate value of pi. We want to expand sin inverse x in a convergence series of terms of positive powers of x. If you remember, in the previous video, we learned to expand a function of x in a convergence series of terms of positive powers of x by Maclaurin's theorem, wherein we expressed a function of x, that is fx, as f0 plus x f dash 0 plus x square upon 2 factorial into f double dash 0 plus so on x raised to power n upon n factorial f nth order derivative of f at 0 and so on, which can also be written like this: y is equal to y0 plus x y10 plus x square upon 2 factorial y20 and so on yn0 into x raised to power n upon n factorial up to infinity. So this is what we have seen already in the proof of Maclaurin's theorem. So for expanding sin inverse x in powers of x, we will use Maclaurin's theorem. For that, let's take y is equal to sin inverse x and we will find the derivative of sin inverse x of all orders. First order derivative of sin inverse x is given by 1 upon under root 1 minus x square, which implies under root of 1 minus x square into y1 is equal to 0. Squaring both sides, we get 1 minus x square y1 square equal to 1. Differentiating both sides with respect to x, we get 1 minus x square into 2y1. Again derivative of y1 will be y2. y1 square into minus 2x equal to 0. In the next step, we will divide both sides by 2y1 and we will get 1 minus x square into y2 minus x into y1 equal to 0. For finding next order derivatives, we need to use Leibniz theorem because here we have product of two functions. And using Leibniz theorem, we can find nth order derivative of product of two functions. So if I can write what Leibniz theorem says, it says that product of two function if you have and you have to find nth order derivative, then it will be given by nc naught un v plus nc1 un minus 1 v1 and so on ncn uvn. So let's take y2 in place of u and 1 minus x square as v. So differentiating both sides with respect to x n times, we get nc naught y n plus 2 1 minus x square plus nc1 y n plus 2, derivative of this term goes down by 1 and derivative of this term goes up by 1. So derivative of this term will be minus 2x plus nc2. Here it will be yn plus 1 because this derivative goes down by 1. So in the next term it will be yn. Again derivative of minus 2x will be minus 2. And in the next term it will be nc3 yn minus 1 and derivative of this will be 0. So I skip writing the next term because it is 0 only. Here again we have product of two terms and we have to differentiate product of two terms n times. So again we will use Leibniz theorem where u is y1 and v is x. So it will be nc naught yn plus 1 x plus nc1 yn derivative of x is 1 and the next terms will be 0 equal to 0. nc naught is 1, so it is 1 minus x square yn plus 2. nc1 is n, so it is n into minus 2x yn plus 1. nc2 is n into n minus 1 upon 2 yn minus 2 minus it is 1, so x yn plus 1 minus positive and negative, it will be negative n yn equal to 0. 1 minus x square yn plus 2 as it is, and we collect all the terms with yn plus 1. So we will be having two terms. One is minus 2 n x and another is minus x yn plus 1. Collect the terms with yn. It is negative n into n minus 1 and negative n implies 1 minus x square yn plus 2 minus 2n plus 1 x yn plus 1, minus common, n square, and it will be minus n and plus n yn equal to 0. So we have 1 minus x square yn plus 2 minus 2n plus 1 x yn plus 1 minus n square yn equal to 0. So we have now this expression, and let's mark this expression as equation number 2, where this is equation number 1. So let's proceed. At x equal to 0, equation 2 becomes yn plus 2 0, because y is always a function of x, so it is actually yx. For the sake of simplicity, we keep writing yx as y, but actually this is yx because y is a function of x, which is sine inverse x. So when we substitute x is equal to 0 in equation number 2, this term will be 0, 1 and yn plus 2's value at 0. This will be 0 minus n square, value of yn at x is equal to 0 is equal to 0. We can also write it like this: yn plus 2 at x equal to 0 is equal to n square yn 0. That means value of nth order derivative of y at x equal to 0, because y is a function of x, which is sine inverse x. So let this be equation number 3. Okay. Let's find the value of yn using equation number 3 at x is equal to 0. When you replace n by n minus 2, we get yn0 equal to n minus 2 square yn minus 2 0. So this is value of yn at x is equal to 0. But this value depends upon n minus 2th order derivative of yn. We repeat this step. Now we will replace n by n minus 2 again, but this time in equation number 4. We get yn minus 2 0 is equal to n minus 4 whole square yn minus 4 0. Substitute value of yn minus 2 at 0 from equation number 5 in equation number 4. We will get yn 0 equal to n minus 2 whole square into n minus 4 whole square into yn minus 4 0. If you repeat this step and you keep repeating the step, you will be getting that yn 0 is equal to n minus 2 whole square, n minus 4 whole square. In the next step, we will be getting n minus 6 whole square by n minus 6 0. Because when you replace n by n minus 2 again in equation number 5, what you will get? It will be yn minus 4 0 equal to n minus 6 whole square into yn minus 6 0. So that value of yn minus 4 0, when you will substitute again, then you will be getting n minus 6 whole square into yn minus 6 0, and so on. So I can write now, continuing the process, we get value of yn 0 equal to n minus 2 whole square into n minus 4 whole square into n minus 6 whole square up to which term it will end. For the time being, let's assume that n is 10, that is even. It can be any even number, but for the time being, let's take n equal to 10. So what will be the next term? It will be 10 minus 2, that means 8 square, 10 minus 4, that means 6 square, 10 minus 6, that means 4 square, and the next term will be 2 square. So value of n is getting decreased by 2, and it will end when you will be having 2 square as last term, and in that case you will be having y20, because when it was n minus 6, you were having n minus 6 over here. When n minus 4 whole square, then there was yn minus 4. So when it will be last term 2 square, then it will be y20 when n is even. When n is odd, then the last term will be 1 square and it will be y10 if n is odd. You can check this taking any even or odd value of n. So this is value of yn at x is equal to 0 when n is even and when n is odd. So let's find the particular values of now yn0. For that, I need to find value of y10 and y20. So what was value of y10? It is y1. When you substitute here x is equal to 0, you will be getting 1. So value of y10 is 1. So let's write what is value of y10, that is 1. And y20. Let's see what is value of y20. This is y2, and in this expression if you take x is equal to 0, then what you will get? y2 0 will be equal to 0 because this will become 0. So y20 is 0. Now using these two values over here, we will get yn0 is equal to 0 because it depends upon y20, which is 0. So ultimately this term will be 0. if n is even. And value of yn at x is equal to 0 equal to n minus 2 whole square into n minus 4 whole square into n minus 6 whole square up to 1 square, and the term before this will be 3 square because the values of n are getting decreased by 2. So if last is 1 square, the previous term will be 3 square, and y10 is 1. So this is value of yn0 if n is odd. Now let's come back to the equation number 1, which is Maclaurin series expansion of a function y of x. For that, first term is y0 plus x into y10 plus x square upon 2 factorial into y20 plus so on x raised to power n upon n factorial yn0. So we will substitute these values in equation number 1 of y0, y10, y20 and yn0 so on. So let's substitute the values of y0, y10, y20, yn0 in equation number 1. So y is equal to y0 plus x y10 plus x square 2 x square upon 2 factorial y20 and so on x n upon n factorial yn0 and so on. What is y0? Because y is sine inverse x. So y0 is 0. y10 is 1. y20 is 0. And next term will be x cube upon 3 factorial. So we will multiply this by y30. So y30 means when n is 3, then y30 will be equal to 3 minus 2 whole square, that is 1 square. So it will be 1 square. Okay. 1 square and plus next terms. So all the even terms will be cancelled. So y40 will be 0 and y50 is multiplied by x5 upon 5 factorial and so on. So it will be x plus 1 square upon 3 factorial into x cube plus, now what will be the value of y50? Let's see. For finding value of y50, take n equal to 5 and 5 is odd, so value will be equal to 5 minus 2 square, that is 3 square, into 5 minus 4 square, that is 1 square. We stop when we have 1 square as a last term. So y50 will be 3 square into 1 square. It will be 1 square into 3 square over 5 factorial into x raised to power 5, and by symmetry the next term will be 1 square, 3 square and 5 square over 7 square and x raised to power 5 and so on. So basically what we have done, we have obtained the value of yn0 when n is odd, and taking n is equal to 3, we have obtained the value of y30. Taking n is equal to 5, we have obtained the value of y50 and substituted these values in equation number 1. Because all the even terms will be 0, so we will be left with the odd powers of x. So this is the required value of sine inverse x, because y is nothing but sine inverse x. Next we have to find the approximate value of pi. For that, take x equal to 1 by 2, which is possible because the function sine inverse x is defined in the range in the interval minus 1 to 1. Because y1 is 1 upon under root 1 minus x square, so when x is 1 or minus 1, this will not exist. So now the possible values of x are minus 1 to 1, excluding minus 1 and 1, because for minus 1 and 1 y1 will not exist. So we will take all the possible values of x in the interval minus 1 to 1, open interval minus 1 to 1. So we can take x equal to 1 by 2, and sine inverse 1 by 2 is pi by 6 equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 square is 1, 3 factorial is 6, and 1 by 2 cube is 1 by 8. 1 square into 3 square upon 5 factorial. So after calculating, it will be 3 upon 40 into, this will be 1 upon 32, because 1 by 2 raised to power 5 will be 1 upon 32. Next term will be 5 upon 112 after doing calculation, and it will be 1 upon 128. If you multiply both sides by 6, you will be getting pi plus 3 plus it will be 1 by 8 plus 9 upon 640 plus 30 upon 14336, and so on. So if you convert these terms into decimals and add, it will be 3.14. So this is the approximate value of pi. So we can find approximate value of pi using Maclaurin's theorem, and we can expand sine inverse x in positive powers of x by using Maclaurin's theorem.